Tonight's match is brought to you by Southern Nevada Water Authority. Remember to change your watering clocks for summer. Water plants and trees, only 4 days a week. And by Great Clips. Settles.
Nice! Unreal! That is a dazzler! We're doing it!
We welcome you to the Sin City. Las Vegas Lights plays their final match of the USL Jägermeister Cup. Playing host to Spokane Velocity alongside Marion Crowder. I'm Michael Watring. So great to have you with us tonight here at Cashman Field. As we get ready for this one, let's turn our lens to the standings presented by AMR and Medic West Ambulance. And you see how things are sorted out right now. Monterey Bay and Sacramento, they have the inside edge to winning the group, but Las Vegas and Spokane have a lot to play for tonight. Spokane with 2 more matches to go. Las Vegas has to have 3 points and a bunch of help to ensure that they take care of business. And you take a look at what Las Vegas has done so far. They've won twice against Orange County and AV Alta, but they got throttled by Sacramento.
And you mentioned it. This is a must-win and then some situation for Las Vegas. But Michael, over the past 2 to 3 weeks, we've seen more grit, we've seen more determination from this group going forward, and they're going to need to come out with a full head of steam here this evening.
Back-to-back wins for the Lights as we take a look at our player to watch tonight, Pickering. He had the game winner against AV Alta in the 73rd minute.
He is a dynamic striker with an eye for goal. He's really got a wow factor to his game. It's just a matter of finding him in the danger area so he can get faced up to the frame of goal.
You take a look at Spokane, they have only trailed for 108 total minutes this season. It's because they're tied for first in goals scored in League One.
Well, variety is the key term for Spokane's attack, but much of it runs through number 77, Andre Luis. He is always problem solving for how Spokane can get into the wide spaces, whether that's engaging a more compact shape to create the width or making runs ahead of the ball in the wide channels himself. He is the cornerstone of this attack, and a key connection with him is Luis Gill. Luis Gill is going to play sometimes as that dueling 10 and second striker. His recognition of dangerous pockets of space right on top of the 18-yard box makes him a player to watch this evening.
The 31-year-old scored the first goal for Spokane in the Jägermeister Cup. Will Spokane be able to keep their trajectory in Group 1 to win the group? Will Las Vegas keep their slim hopes alive? Starting 11s and the opening kick from Vegas are next.
As a Great Clips salon stylist, I love giving customers the look they want. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details, so it's one less thing for you to worry about. And when I see that confidence at the end of the cut, that's everything to me.
As a stylist, I know it can be hard to find time for a haircut. With the Great Clips app, you can put your name on the list from anywhere and head to the salon when it's time for your cut. A great haircut plus more time for what you love. That's Great Clips.
Hey you! Yes, you! Right now, only at Finito get a Terrible's $500 gas card with the purchase of any new Tacoma or Tundra in stock. Hurry in, offer ends June 30th only at Finley Toyota.
As a stylist, I know it can be hard to find time for a haircut. With the Great Clips app, you can put your name on the list from anywhere and head to the salon when it's time for your cut. A great haircut plus more time for what you love. That's Great Clips.
We welcome you back here to Las Vegas. The Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly as we take a look at the starting lineup tonight, brought to you by Richard Harris Law Firm and Las Vegas Lights. Starting 11 looks like this. They go to the third keeper, Carver Miller, with his first appearance for the club.
It's going to be important to get him some confidence touches early on. A familiar back four in front of him, but I want to point your attention to number 17, Patrick Leal, and number 20, Sean Smart. Those are two players who recognize really dangerous moments to pull shapes out of position and out of their structure. Sean Smart's going to be a very vital piece going up and down that right-hand side.
Conversely, for Spokane, this is their starting 11. Ryan Bilichuk gets the start for his group. A new look for them, but they have the veteran Nico Brett up top.
Nico Brett and also Danny Garcia, my goodness, number 4, one of the best center backs, if not the best center back in all of League One, and he's going to have his hands mightily full because, as we've already stated, this is a must-win for this Las Vegas Light side.
So just about ready to kick off here this evening, and a quick glance around the rest of the group. It's scoreless between Orange County and Sacramento. They're a half hour in that one. Oakland, meanwhile, has a 1-0 edge against Monterey Bay. Both of those good signs for these two teams, specifically Spokane, if they're able to walk out of here with a victory. And this is a good matchup because Spokane is the #1 team in USL League One at this point in the season, and Las Vegas, despite their sputtering, despite the coaching change, they find themselves above the playoff line and winners of back-to-back matches. And Marion, watch this matchup in the USL Jägermeister Cup. We've already seen a lot of fun matches tonight. How do you envision this one playing out?
I think this one could be box-to-box. This is, as we mentioned in the open, a Spokane side who has a lot of variety, a lot of adaptability in the way that they go at you. And anytime that you are a team like Las Vegas where your back's up against the wall, that's going to dictate and mandate a response. And I think that we're going to be in for a treat here this evening.
It is Spokane in those light blue kits. It's the black and blues for Las Vegas. And we're underway here at Cashman Field in the Jägermeister Cup. Group #1, Las Vegas Lights and Spokane Velocity. Michael Watring, Marion Crowder, and our team inviting you to come hang out with us this evening as we cap off a busy night in the Jägermeister Cup. We've already seen late equalizers, late winners, penalty kick shootouts, and much more action to come here this evening. Spokane in the second season as a club. Lee Vidman mentioned that 40% of this year's roster was brand new, and they've done a really good job to get to the point on the table that they are in right now. Maybe a little bit ahead of schedule, admittedly, but a good challenge tonight against Vegas. Firstly, on the other side, for Las Vegas, Giovanni Troise took over the team just a couple weeks ago, and he said that we've been spending a lot of time building our chemistry, and you've seen that through the results for our side. A little bit of a shove, and now indeed they do blow the whistle. Gives us a chance to take a look at tonight's keys to the game presented by Finley Toyota. Marion, what are your keys?
For Las Vegas, it's always going to be about managing those central spaces, right? They have incredibly talented individuals in the central pockets right on top of the 18-yard box, and how you manage that, not only on the ball, but also how you mitigate the transition. And for Spokane, there are going to be moments where they're going to have to sit in mid to low block. They're going to have to absorb some pressure from a Las Vegas team desperate for points. And so when you do go forward, can you have commitment in that press and make something positive in the attacking third?
See how this one plays out here this evening. Spokane has been nearly impenetrable of late. They've lost just one time in their last 11 overall matches. That was to Monterey Bay in the Jaeger Cup back on May 28th. Free kick here for Spokane after the Vegas foul. Chance to flood some numbers in the box. This ball whistles towards the back post. There's Carver Miller in his first test. The 21-year-old from Charlottesville, Virginia, spent 2 years with Portland Timbers 2 and earns the nod tonight. Chris Pearson. He scored in this tournament. It was against AV Alta. And that 2-1 win back in April. They played twice in the span of 5 days in the Jaeger Cup. Pearson threads the needle. Hefty initial touch, back for Pearson. Budati rolls it. Pearson retreats, and it's a giveaway, and a chance for the Velocity to try to hit on the counter. It's enough of a piece to keep this attack alive, and here goes Reedy inside of the 18. Keeps the ball in play, but funnels it right to Gartzig.
You can see early on, one of the other pieces that this Spokane side is keyed into is a tendency that the Las Vegas wingbacks have in terms of their release forward. It's very quick, and they can take advantage of those moments.
Into the mixer it goes, knocked away. Let's come out of the pack with it. It's not the first time that these two clubs have met in a consequential match. They also faced off in the third round of the US Open Cup in 2024 on this pitch, and it was Spokane getting the victory, 2-1. Late 112th minute goal would be the winner after Andre Lewis tied the score in the 96th minute. One of the last kicks of the night. There'll be similar drama in store for us on this Saturday evening here in the Sin City.
It is USL After Dark, after all. Sin City, 10:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff time. I mean, we're bound for some late game magic.
We should have a warning graphic for that. USL After Dark. Remember those Nick at Night commercials back in the day? We need one of those.
Absolutely, good shout. I think we've aged ourselves.
We have, yes. People now know how old we are. VCRs, landlines. Nate Jones. This is the second youngest team in the USL Championship in Las Vegas Lakes. In fact, their opponents tonight, Spokane Velocity, have some of the more senior statesmen that you'll see on the pitch, in the 33-year-old Brett, 30-year-old Andre Lewis, and others. Stojanovic starts this attack. Rolls back. Here is Pickering. Unable to hold on to the ball, though, in that tight middle of the field. On the quick pivot, it's Gill. Andre Lewis hides it back out wide. Andre Lewis has been well traveled in his time. Most recently with Hartford before this stop with Spokane. Here's Javier Martin. Tries to wind one up, instead mishits it and tests the bleachers. I guess that's down the first baseline in this baseball stadium. Five matches currently going on in the Jaeger Cup, and the final 3 matches to be played tonight are all here in Group 1. And this will be the nightcap of a busy day across the USL. Tonight's injury report is presented by AMR and Medic West Ambulance, and neither side reports any injuries. Pretty healthy sides, particularly for this time of the year. Ball rolls past the leg of David Garcia, although there are some key pieces that are not suited up tonight. Las Vegas' leading goal scorer, Johnny Rodriguez, unavailable this evening. Not a part of selection. Oprah for Spokane, the team's leading assist man, also unavailable on the velocity side. Budati switches the field. Excellent maneuver there. And it's Leal sending this ball along. Leal. Pearson looks over his shoulder. Goes wide, Budati. Budati darts, crosses. Right between two teammates. Wrong-colored kicks. That ball just enough of a skim, but it's given right back, however. John Brown lays it off to the left-hand side. Here's Brett. Brett blasts this ball off of the defender's backside, and it's cleared away. Worked that time defensively by Gartig.
No doubt, and these are the moments when it makes sense to go, right? We talked about that press commitment, and with that comes recognition of when to transition and when to do it quickly. And the recognition twice now from Spokane has been excellent. They've won the ball in a dangerous area. They've gone quickly into the 18-yard box. Nothing to show for it of yet, but a really good start here for Spokane Velocity.
It will be a throw for Spokane, and Pierre Reedy, former Penn State Nittany Lion, will take his run up to this one. Reedy unleashes, bounces off of the ground and rolls outside of the penalty area. Reedy back with it, jabs, hooks, pushed away, back out, and once again, opportunity for Spokane. Cannot find the target from Andre Lewis. At the 10-minute mark, both sides trying to push the right buttons here in this matchup. You have Lee Vidman for Spokane in his second season after being a part of the Charleston Battery coaching staff, and then Giovanni Terese is the fourth youngest coach in USL Championship history at 28 years of age.
He's done really well to reinvigorate this group, and that's going to innately happen. Anytime you have a manager turnover, there's going to be some new life and new energy because you have a new voice at the helm, and you've also got arguably a clean slate, and so players have a new bit of life to try and prove themselves to the new man in charge. But I think he's done really well to keep this group together from a relationship perspective and build on the chemistry that we saw in spurts during their earlier parts of the USL Championship season. And now it's just about putting it all together, particularly in the final third. But I've loved what I've seen the past couple of weeks about their willingness to go forward and have a bit more bite to their attack.
Goal scoring has been a problem all year. They have the fewest goals in the USL Championship, only 10 all year. Been shut out 6 times. Budati, smart. Nudges it back. Pearson loops it high. On the turn, appeals for a foul against Andre Lewis. Patrick Leal watches that one go out for a goal kick. Spokane look to build. They have both shots that have been attempted so far in this matchup. Spokane last year, a forgettable Jaeger Cup experience. They didn't win a match.
No doubt.
They only had 2 draws, and both times they lost in penalties in the West group. The lowest goal differential of any team as well. It's been a shift this year, and if results continue to play in their favor and they take care of business, they could win the group this year. Lewis swings it back. Gill Fernandez. Reedy. Numbers inside of the box this time around. Ultimately, Fernandez to Lewis. Sean Brown. Lewis. Las Vegas doing a good job with their resistance here. Reedy unable to knock it down, and it's given away.
That last sequence was a wonderful spell of defensive discipline from Las Vegas Lights. They were patient. They sat back in a low block just above their 18-yard box, and they waited and forced a mistake. They made play predictable for the players behind them, and that's going to be key for them as they continue to move forward. This is a high-octane Spokane velocity attack, a group that can adapt within the 90 minutes quite quickly.
Pearson funnels this ball in. It just does skim past Pickering and goes out for a goal kick. And despite all the struggles that Las Vegas have had this year, no team in the USL has more clean sheets than their 8.
And it was a really purposeful identity change for them. With Antonio Nocerino coming in, he wanted to play a bit more of a compact, defensively disciplined style. And the early returns were there, no doubt about it. I believe in their first 8 matches, 6 clean sheets. And they were a really tough team to break down. The problem with that is that oftentimes if you don't have any release in your attack, that burden just starts to weigh and weigh consistently on your defenders. And there was only so much that Las Vegas could give up without having anything going forward. And so now there's a bit more balance to what they want to do. That defensive discipline is still there, no doubt, but there is more balance going forward. And because of that, you provide relief to your defenders.
They'll be able to find enough goals here tonight to make it interesting in the end. As you take another look at this, Reedy getting shut down by 2 defenders and then pushing Sean Smart in the back. Budani. Budani needs to go back. Stagnant attacking right now. Direct pass here. Goes out. And you have 2 attacking sides right now that are very frustrated by 2 of the best defensive teams in their respective leagues.
We've talked a lot about the identity of both of these groups going forward, how Spokane is a team that likes to get into the wide channels. They can be very effective going at you very quickly. We've also talked about how it's evolved for Las Vegas going forward over the last couple of weeks. Failed to mention just how disciplined both of these groups are on the defensive side of the ball. It's going to be a chess match, no doubt.
Spokane's given up the fewest goals in League One so far this season, just 8 of them all year long. Here's Javier Martin. Along the sideline, John Brown. It's a good ball through the middle. Reedy lets it go. Waits for the overlap now. Fernandez and Lewis. Martin once more. Sean Brown. Former Stanford Cardinal. Able to fire that one through. Just not the right creative ideas for either side once they get the ball near the penalty area. The Las Vegas Lights are proud to be working with the Southern Nevada Water Authority. Remember to change your watering clocks for summer. Water plants and trees only 4 days a week. Smart knocks that one over. Now into the attack. Pickering retreats. Smart cannot get the ball back. Yet again, these defensive units slamming the door shut. Las Vegas had lost 4 consecutive games before they won back-to-back games, both via the clean sheet. 2-0 against Monterey Bay, 1-0 against Indy 11. They had only led for 30 minutes in their prior 6, so you're not just talking about a little bit of a change in terms of the team on the field, you're talking about a makeover mentally that this group has had to undergo. Martin pushes the ball through the middle. John Brown. Lee Skill. Debates, chooses. Fernandez tries to unlock something. Reedy bobbles. He's able to squirm through 2. Reedy is forward, advantage played. Reedy cuts back, Reedy launches, and Carver Miller passes his first true test of the night as he gobbles that one up.
And this is just crafty. This is fun to watch. Good footwork, very tidy on the ball. Sees all of the momentum from the Las Vegas defenders going towards the back post. He just cuts it back to find a better shot window. The shot window was perfect. Unfortunately, the technical execution of the shot, not so much, but excellent footwork from Reedy.
So we have an injured Lights player down inside of the box. That forces a stoppage here in play. Aaron, you look at this Jägermeister Cup, and last year it was just League One teams. It was during a successive window of time. It's changed this year to include championship teams, and I think that every coach really likes how this tournament is being played. It's at the end of every month. It's spread out. It gives you chances to really see who the best teams are, and it's one of the great ideas that have been executed within the USL.
Yeah, from an operations perspective, logistical perspective, very well executed this year, bringing in the full fold of USL into this cup. But also, I just love the format. I love the purpose behind it because it forces team to have a response, right? The basis of this is to make it an attacking-oriented type of game. And where points are at a premium, goals matter. Winning in regulation, it matters. And so it really forces, I think, not only the players on the field, but also the coaching staff to have a bit more of an aggressive approach with all of these matches. I think it challenges them in the best possible way.
You're seeing it with some of the parity within how things are sorting out across all the groups. Yes, the USL Championship have really the stranglehold on the majority of the group tables, but you have teams like Spokane that put themselves in a position. You also have clubs like Portland Hearts of Pine that had put themselves in a spot until last night against Rhode Island with a chance. Charlotte Independence in Group 5 have done so, and South Georgia Tormenta as well. You have so many different teams that are putting the spotlight on, and just it will all lead up to a little bit of a appetizer to Pro Rel starting in a couple of years.
I also think as this ever-expanding USL ecosystem sits under our nose, there's always an opportunity for the incredibly loyal, incredibly passionate fans of the USL Soccer League to learn about new clubs, new teams, new initiatives. So many cool things that are being done at the individual, the grassroots level for each of these clubs, whether it's as Portland Hearts of Pine, you mentioned it, right? Being a team that represents their community by the style of soccer they play, or this Spokane side who has a fast track to what we've seen be their foundation. It was actually really interesting to talk to head coach of Spokane Velocity. He says, you know what, year one was actually just supposed to be about establishing an identity. Year two was supposed to be about being a playoff team, and then it would have been great. It would have been cherry on top to be a home playoff team at that. Year three was supposed to be the championship. And as the goalposts have changed a little bit, the expectations have changed a little bit, the plan is still the same. And I think for the Spokane Velocity team, having a good showing in this USL Jägermeister Cup would be just another step in the right direction.
Lee Vidman spoke about defining success. Felt like maybe they were a little bit ahead of schedule, but has to, he thinks, balance both where they're at on that schedule. This ball rolls in, a shove and a foul against Vegas. It leads to a free kick, but you have to understand where you're at in the development. You're a year and a half into the program. The plan really has not changed, as you see another look at Sean Smart going right through the backside this time around of Derek Waldeck. There is that evolution and the adaptation to the success that they've put in. Really likes the way that they're defending right now. Ultimately, though, said, I want to find a bit of a killer instinct within this group. Yes, they're winning, but they've won 6 matches in the last 2 months by just 1 goal. He said that they fooled around too many times, that late into games they're having to dogfight matches that they should have put away long ago.
One of the tendencies of playing in a mid to low block is that you have a tendency to drop deeper and deeper as you sit with the lead and the game gets late. And that was one of the tendencies that I've noticed watching their last 6-7 games, is that they do have a tendency to sit and absorb pressure, which invites a whole lot of problems.
Budati slices around, and that ultimately will disappoint him as he bangs it off of the outfield wall.
Yunus Budati, for me, has been one of the brightest and most consistent parts of this Las Vegas side for the entirety of the 2025 season. His ability on the ball, his skill level on the ball, but also just the understanding that he has, the balance that he provides. He has great recognition of when to get forward in the final third, when to provide a little bit more of a defensive stay home.
Budati just trying to find a consistent home, has bounced around with multiple teams. Hartford for 2 years, looked like he had that position lined up, and then he gets transferred to Indy 11, back to Hartford, and now he's here with Las Vegas, trying to help the Lights make the push into the postseason. Ball here, will it unlock something? There's too much velocity on that pass through the Velocity back line. Hey, Lights fans, scan the QR code on your screen for more on the official protein drink of your Las Vegas Lights. And visit drinkpromino.com as well. A catastrophic moment there for Spokane, playing this ball out of the back. And that's something that you've seen a lot these days across all levels. Teams that want to play it out of the back, and sometimes you just have these mental errors that cause those issues, but they do break free of that here for the moment. Ultimately, Pearson gathers and recycles.
The goal that the U.S. men's national team conceded to Haiti, a wonderful example of exactly what you're talking about, right? And it's completely fine to teach players how to play a new system, right? Be brave building out of the back, be comfortable with pressure and being able to solve that. You also have to teach recognition, right? And being able to realize when there are moments that, yeah, you can build out, but there are also moments when you just need to kick it as far as you can into the stands, because it means that you're not going to give up a goal, right? That cliche saying of better be safe than sorry. There's got to be a little bit of balance to what we're doing, what we're teaching here.
It's a nice flick on here. Smart, though, is offside. Flag went up promptly. And a free kick here. Hasn't been the most aggressive attacking. The good thing for these two teams, passing accuracy high. The bad thing is that passing accuracy is because they've settled in their attacks, and it's been a lot of passes like these, just pinging it around 10, 15 yards away from each other with no pressure. The USL on CBS Sports Network continues into the first week of July, and there are 3 really good matchups on deck. Birmingham takes on Charleston Battery. That's 8 p.m. on Wednesday, July 2nd. And then last season's champs, Colorado Springs Switchbacks, welcome Louisville City off to their red-hot start to the year. That is on the 4th of July at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the Battery are back in action to battle it out with North Carolina in a South Carolina versus North Carolina tussle on Sunday, July 6th at 5 p.m. Eastern. Catch all the action on the CBS Sports Network. Pearson. In the middle of the field. Here's a long distance effort. Never finds the target. Pickering, 20-year-old from Birmingham. Spent a couple years in Memphis, beginning his career at age 17. Good takeaway and an excellent read from Budati. Pearson selects the tougher of the 2 pass options that he had. Smart. Thought about sending it. Likes not to. Pickering. Back out wide. This cross. Full send this time around. Stings the noggin of Pinzon. And it rolls out off of Las Vegas for a corner.
Well, this is big time because they didn't try to force things centrally. And I've been sitting here saying all the numbers are central. They're right on top of the 18-yard box. Get wide, get service in. You've already got the numbers. It's an excellent decision and almost a near perfect first goal.
Richard Harris Law Firm brings us our corner kicks here this evening. Here's this corner kick lacing in, and it hits another head of Spokane and rolls to the opposite side for another corner. You can see Bilichuk coming out, and that ball just took the slightest of redirects.
A really dangerous ball in swinging into the near post almost. Pearson, a vital piece to this attack. Love what he brings, not only his texture on the ball, but also his defensive presence has been outstanding for Las Vegas.
This corner kick booms to the back post. There's a collision, and there's a penalty as well. A little tug of the jersey, and going down hard inside of the box wins a penalty kick for Las Vegas.
Knight Pickering on the corner. And a scuffle right there at the back post. Reedy looks to be the offender in this situation. And you can tell he's very frustrated. No intention there whatsoever, just trying to fight a bit for positioning.
commits the foul. And now Ryan Bilichuk will have to defend, but the one thing that both of these keepers have is the experience in MLS Next Pro. That, of course, goes to penalty kicks if it's a draw at the end of regulation. So the keepers have a little bit more experience in these situations than maybe some of the USL keepers would have in these spots.
They see penalties more than just about anyone.
Yeah, every coach in MLS Next Pro talks about the fact that it is a part of their training regimen. They have to go through it every week because it is a possibility every single week. It's not like some of the other competitions that you see throughout the year where you might go months and never have to deal with it.
And you can tell he's already being purposeful, right? There's a reason he's not gone all the way back to his line yet. He stood there right at the 6-yard box for an extended amount of time. And that's just a bit of a tactic, right? The whole key for a goalkeeper in this situation, become as big as possible. Make the goal feel very tight. Make it feel very small for the players, and you'll often see penalty kick takers not even look at the goalkeeper in the eye, right? They keep their head down. They have that mental visualization of the goal, and they don't want it to be affected by the quality, I would say, tactics right now of Spokane's goalkeeper.
A typical 100-degree night here in Las Vegas sets up another man with MLS Next Pro experience, Stefan Stojanovic. Couple seasons with Philly Union too. And the 24-year-old from Chicago has a chance to put Las Vegas out in front. So everybody moves aside. And now Stojanovic smacks this ball. Bilichuk dives right, but it sneaks under his hand and melts the mesh. And it is Las Vegas that have the opening goal, 1-0.
It's a brilliant decision to keep this one low. Here is how we got to this point. It's a scuffle on the back post that leads to Pierre Reedy being the offender, a point to the spot. And with the stature of Bilichuk, it is very important in this situation to keep this ball low to the ground. That's the hardest place for a goalkeeper to reach, and although he guesses right, the decision to keep that one on the ground is ultimately what sneaks it into the near post.
The 6'3" keeper got a left paw to it, but couldn't quite fend it off. And Stojanovic starts the scoring here this evening in a must-win and a must-win big situation for the Lights as they play their final match of the group stage in Group 1. This hydration break is presented by Flow. Appropriate song to play, Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. It has been a blinding performance for Las Vegas as they turn their eye from the opening portion of the year.
I have a fun nugget for you.
All right.
I'm not even good at trivia.
All right, let's hear it. So you're not going to be one of my trivia team partners.
Do not. You will lose. I'm telling you, we're going to go in with negatives to start. Okay. We'll start that. We'll be at -5 already.
All right.
All right. Do you know what the most streamed song on Spotify is ever?
Of all time.
Yeah, like not like right now.
All time.
Ever.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Hint, hint. Just played. Blinding Lights.
Played. Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. Well, that was the craze. What was that on the social medias back in the day, a couple of years ago?
What are those things called again? Look, we've already had the Nickelodeon sequel.
Yes, yeah.
Don't give away our age any further.
That was back on MySpace, right?
You know that there are some people out there listening to this that
they have
that
no
just
idea.
said, what is MySpace?
Yes, yes. They have no idea some of the things that we're talking about. Here's John Brown. He darts past the defender, but cannot quite get the edge against Nate Jones, who does well to shield, and Carver Miller out to pounce on it.
This is a really good moment of recognition. What a first touch to near post, and Carver Miller, he recognizes all of that one. John Brown, that's a brilliant decision just to try and get that inside shoulder of the Las Vegas defender and draw a penalty kick, but Carver Miller read that one the whole way. Got a souvenir to go along with it.
Hey Lights fans, scan the QR code on your screen to check out the new family 4-pack. 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 soda cans, and 2 popcorn boxes. Don't have a lot of cans these days. Those are more
Don't
bottles.
have a lot of cans. But any promo with a hot dog in it, I am down.
What's the topping? What's the go-to topping there?
Ooh, this is, see, this is gonna get into some controversy. Okay, I am really just I just like ketchup and mustard.
All right.
If I'm feeling really spicy, maybe some relish.
Spicy, I like that.
What about you?
This is a whole argument in my household.
Oh, no, here we go.
My wife has a hot dog theory and feels that because I only like ketchup on my hot dogs that I'm a child.
You have the palate of a
Yes, I have the palate of a 9-year-old. Our very first date, she went in on her whole hot dog theory, and that was quite the topic of conversation. How we made it to a second date, and to this point, is miraculous.
You heard it here first, kids. The keys to a successful marriage. Discuss your hot dog topic.
Yes, on date 1,
Yeah.
within the first hour. 40th minute of play, 1-0 the advantage for Las Vegas. It hasn't been the most attacking performance for either side, as you would expect between two of the stingiest defensive teams within their respective leagues. Stefan Stojanovic converted the penalty kick in the 35th minute to have Las Vegas out in front 1-0. Michael Watrang, Marion Crowder, and our team with you here watching the USL Jägermeister Cup. And a look at the live table has Las Vegas on top of the table, but they would need help to be able to win the group. Although with some of those wild card positions for the second place teams, they could at very least, if they can get some more goals, put themselves in a position to snatch one of those wild card spots. This is a delightful pass, but it slows the angle down, however. John Brown. Lewis darts in. Lewis debates, wants the return feed. And yet again, it's Nate Jones providing the blockade. Here's a foul. It was an erratic jump by Garcia to commit the infraction.
David Garcia, we talked about him potentially being the best center back in all of USL League One. Having a pretty heated conversation with our referee.
Spokane have not been in this position very often. They've only trailed for 72 minutes in their last 10 League One matches. Can they find an equalizer here? Might it happen before the end of the first half? Well, we have to wait till half number 2. To the sideline. Pinzon brings it down, slams the brakes on. Miller spikes it away. It's a good initial touch. Stojanovic was lurking, but Garcia controls.
And I'll bring you back to one of our keys, right? That press commitment. That was a great example of it from Spokane. It was recognition from all the players that this is the moment to go. Not only that, but there was commitment from the players behind them to not only step up the line, but we would be willing to win those 50-50 duels. Ultimately, they do just that and regain possession.
Those keys to the game presented by Finley Toyota. Las Vegas had given up 6 goals in the Jaeger Cup. Very uncharacteristic based off of how they've defended during the USL Championship's regular season. That was tied for the 3rd most in the Jaeger Cup entering the night. Reedy lays it off. John Brown hits it first time. Doesn't get it past as Reedy puts his body on the line, but ends up knocking the ball out of play for a goal kick. Sure to hang with us at halftime. We'll take a look at the upcoming schedules as well as scores, news, and notes from around the rest of the USL as well. On a jammed-packed evening, and yet another game has gone to penalties. We'll update you on how things sorted themselves out in the matchup between Colorado Springs and New Mexico. Ball along that left sideline is taken away. Final minute before stoppage time. Lewis, John Brown. He debates, charges against Budati, chips it in. That's that defending of Nate Jones, who's done so well. Martin pushes the ball out. Good pressure here from Spokane. Really, their best pressure in terms of a sustained spell of this first half. Sounding like 5 minutes of stoppage time in this first half. There you see Giovanni Troise putting the thumbs up after he heard the decision of 5 minutes. And it's confirmed 5 for half one.
The official has indicated that a minimum of 5 minutes will be added to the first half.
Pierre Reedy, 27-year-old from Kutztown, Pennsylvania, spins this ball into the penalty area. Another collision there. This time it doesn't net a penalty kick like it did off of the corner kick for the Lights. Lewis runs into trouble and it's taken away. Pickering, real numbers for it here, but he does have choices to make as he glides to the middle of the park. Rotates this ball around and it trickles out. You watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Oakland Roots face off against Detroit City on July 5th, and that is a 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific time kickoff. You can go to the USL Championship's website at uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Lee Vidman just picked up a yellow card as well. Some frustrations boiling over here before the end of the first half.
Yellow card issued to Spokane's head coach.
Bodies collide, and yet again he makes an appeal for a foul, and this time Pearson is whistled. Fernandez under duress from Pinzon. That's a foul. Some of these fouls could set up Spokane with a chance before halftime to tie this score up. Direct ball here. John Brown knocks it down. Pass gets knocked away, however. It's touched by Budati. takes the quick throw, picks a pocket. John Brown turns. Out top it goes. Lewis steps on the ball. Might have turned an ankle there as he hits the deck. And Pearson comes out of there with it, and he lasers the ball across the surface that rolls out. Oakland have added a second against Monterey Bay. So the Roots putting themselves on the map on the Group 1 table. As Monterey Bay had entered 2-0. Sac Republic also, but they're in a duel against Orange County with a half hour left in that match. Javier Martin has all the space in the world. Eyes across in. It's in the right direction, but it gets knocked away and picked up by Leal. You have two defensive-minded teams, and you knew when one would take the lead, that team would defend well, and this run is well-timed. Stojanovic bobbles, gathers, nudges it back, setting up shop before the slide tackle that nudges this ball away. That ball gets punched down the sideline and out. That was really fine defensive work.
Well, we told you, David Garcia, arguably one of the best center backs in USL. It's his timing in these 1v1 challenges. Not only does he mitigate the entire transitional moment, but he recognizes the perfect time to take that lunging step forward. He closes down space, keeps his feet, and sees that Knight Pickering, in that moment, takes just too long.
Milochuk corrals this ball. And there's your first half whistle in this matchup. Well, Marion, we knew that this would be a defensive performance, and if not for a penalty, we would be scoreless at this point as Las Vegas has the upper hand through one half.
I think you have to tip your cap to the Lights, obviously, for the productive start, but I want to focus on Spokane because I haven't felt like they've given up a whole lot, and I actually think it's been a very positive half for Lee Wiedemann's side. With a group that sits in this mid to low block, and you're now chasing the game, you need to consider stepping the lines up and challenging this Las Vegas back line to deal with your pressure a bit more in the second half.
45 minutes down here in Las Vegas, and the Lights have the edge in their final matchup of the Jaeger Cup. Halftime presented by Southern Nevada Water Authority comes your way when we come back as Las Vegas leads Spokane 1-0 at the break. We're back with more here in just a moment.
Desert Radiology is the area's chief resource for the highest quality medical imaging and diagnostic care. We are proud to offer 9 locations across the valley. As a member of the community for over 50 years, Desert Radiology is proud to be the official imaging partner of the Las Vegas Lights. To learn more, visit desertrad.com. That's desertrad.com. Let's go Lights!
At Comprehensive Cancer Centers, the most advanced treatments and breakthrough research are helping our patients thrive. But some of our most powerful treatments are preventative. This begins together in our community through awareness, outreach, education, and support. From healthier living and self-checks to screening for early detection, we can now find and treat some cancers before they strike. We're doing this together, Southern Nevada, and teamwork saves lives.
Halftime here in Las Vegas, sponsored by Southern Nevada Water Authority. And Las Vegas Lights have the 1-0 edge at halftime thanks to Stefan Stojanovic's penalty kick in the 35th minute. Michael Watring, Marion Crowder back with you. Here's the upcoming schedule for Las Vegas, and you look at that. Tough matchup against Sacramento, 3 straight on the road, and then San Antonio. This is an important stretch for this team trying to stay above the playoff line.
Take a deep breath if you're a Las Vegas Lights fan. There's no doubt about it. You look at this and you just say, whew, because it is tough. Look, FC Tulsa has become one of the toughest teams to break down. Don't count Orange County out either. They are an offensive firepower. And El Paso near the top of the table. San Antonio FC, always a defensive group, hard to break down.
Conversely, looking at the League One slate for Spokane, Texoma has become a juggernaut with their goal-scoring prowess. They had 4 more tonight after they upended Charlotte Independence with 3 goals the other evening. Westchester a visit there to Chattanooga, and then the final matchup of the Jaeger Cup against a Sacramento Republic side that ultimately could be the decision makers in this Jaeger Cup group stage. And that's how Spokane will line up for their next 5 matches. Well, 1-0 Las Vegas leads at halftime. And let's take a look at some of the production that gets put into these Jägermeister Cup matches.
Turn on your TV and get ready to be entertained. Few things can captivate a mass audience like live sports. And if a broadcast feels like magic,
a lot of people just think you flick the switch and it's easy and it magically appears, but there's so much that goes into it behind the scenes.
Mike Friedman is the vice president and executive producer at NEP Media Services. For USL National Broadcasts on CBS, Friedman's team is close to 40 people.
They're led by the producer and director. That's for any production. And then from there, you have associate directors, you have graphics people, you have replay people, you have the camera operators, you have engineers, you have tech managers, all working for that one common goal of a smooth broadcast.
Now, here's something you may not know. At NEP in South Florida, hundreds of broadcasts in the USL Championship, League One, and Super League are broadcast remotely. All stadium cameras feed directly to NEP. And just like a truck on site, camera shots are switched live. And there are eyeballs on the product. In April, CBS's production of Phoenix Rising FC at San Antonio FC peaked at 776,000 viewers.
The way we do TV for other sports is different than soccer. So it's finding that sweet spot of taking what people are used to seeing and adding that American TV touch into it.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way.
Focus!
Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power.
Whatever it takes.
Trusted for over 100 years. Tiger Balm's proven herbal blend tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger so that you can rise above pain.
Let's make a Karate Kid.
And get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Today we went to the beach and it was totally worth it. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
3 ice-cold Jägermeister shots, please. Those look warm.
Serve it cold or don't serve it at all. Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold.
Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. Busy night in the USL's Jägermeister Cup as we take a look around some action. It was a great matchup out of Group 5 between Loudoun and Charlotte Independence. Abukura had the opening goal. Maru found the equalizer, but Loudoun gets the 2 points, winning in penalty kicks. Lexington beats Richmond. How about Indy 11? It was a 94th minute goal from Preston Tabort-Nataka that tied it up, but Indy wins it in penalties. Detroit gets a late equalizer. They get the late points at Hartford as well. Other scores from around the rest of the Jägermeister Cup as you take a look at this second page. Charleston hadn't had a point in the Jägermeister Cup despite their success in the USL Championship. They get 2 tonight, taking out Tormenta in penalties. Phoenix and Texoma play quite the racetrack performance. 5-4 for Phoenix. Tulsa upends Chattanooga. It's to penalties for New Mexico against the Switchbacks, and San Antonio takes out Union Omaha in their matchup. Games in Group 1. It is 2-0 Oakland out in front of Monterey Bay. That has about 20 minutes to go. In that matchup, Muir an own goal, and then Donor added one in the 58th minute for Oakland. It's still scoreless between Orange County and Sacramento, so that means that Las Vegas is atop the group, and they can still advance to the knockout stage by being the group winners. As you take a look at the news and the notes, North Carolina ending Lou City's unbeaten run Friday night. International flair for Orange County, but how about Spokane? Unbeaten through 11 matches to go to the top of the standings as they beat Richmond 1-0. Yet another 1-goal victory for Spokane. That's 6 of them in the last 2 months for the Velocity. But can they come back in tonight's matchup? They trail 1-0 through 45 minutes of play here at Cashman Field in Las Vegas. Is a comeback in the cards for Spokane? We'll step out for a break. Highlights and the second half kick come your way when we return.
As a Great Clips salon stylist, I love giving customers the look they want. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details, so it's one less thing for you to worry about. And when I see that confidence at the end of the cut, that's everything to me.
As a stylist, I know it can be hard to find time for a haircut. With the Great Clips app, you can put your name on the list from anywhere and head to the salon when it's time for your cut. A great haircut plus more time for what you love. That's Great Clips.
Desert Radiology is the area's chief resource for the highest quality medical imaging and diagnostic care. We are proud to offer 9 locations across the valley. As a member of the community for over 50 years, Desert Radiology is proud to be the official imaging partner of the Las Vegas Lights. To learn more, visit desertrad.com. That's desertrad.com. Let's go Lights!
Hey you. Yes, you. Right now, only a finito to get a Terrible's $500 gas card with the purchase of any new Tacoma or Tundra in stock. Hurry in, offer ends June 30th only at Findlay Toyota.
Tonight's halftime is brought to you by Desert Radiology and by Comprehensive Cancer Centers. Halftime here in Las Vegas in the Jaeger Cup as we take a look at the highlights here at halftime between the Lights and Spokane. And there haven't been a lot of attacking moments, But this back line, both back lines have lived up to the billing tonight.
Yeah, so much of this game has been played in the central part of the field, right in between the 18-yard boxes. But for Spokane, when they've been at their brightest, it's been in those transitional moments where they've gotten players in the edge of the 18-yard box, right in that pocket of space. Pierre Reedy, you can see the technical ability he possesses, forcing a save from Carver Miller, and ultimately the Spokane side is going to have to chase the game a little bit, step their lines up a little bit higher. In the 31st minute, Knight Pickering getting things started. That's Patrick Leal doing what he does best, pulling players out of that defensive structure by going from a central position to a position in the wide channels. And in the 32nd minute, you see this play, look at the back post, a bit of a tussle for Howell. He draws that one with Pierre Reedy, a point to the spot. Stojanovic steps up, absolutely buries it. A wonderful decision against the 6'3" goalkeeper for Spokane to put that one on the deck, keep it low, and into the side netting.
That's our only goal of the match so far. And as you saw during our news and notes presented by Payblocks, it is Spokane that is unbeaten in 11 straight in League One play. And they try to come away with at least a draw here tonight. We do have a sub at halftime in this one. It is Gennaro Nigro coming in and replacing Malik Howell in the midfield. Nigro was one of the players that we heard Lee Vidman speak highly about in the midfield for Las Vegas. I gotta admit, the music
in-house
selection,
DJ,
yeah, very good.
Killing
very
it.
good.
Absolutely crushing.
Having a very good night.
Got the crowd involved. Got some interactions going.
Here's Spokane with it. Reedy in the box. Hammers it off the foot of Jones and out for a corner as Spokane look for an early start to half number 2.
And already, as this game is going to dictate with the 1-0 scoreline, not in favor of Spokane, they're going to have to be a bit more aggressive in their defensive shape, a bit more willing to put pressure on this Las Vegas Lights back line. And I think that they'll find themselves asking very controversial questions of this back line. They already have done so in the opening minutes of the second half.
Richard Harris Law Firm corner. As this ball whistles in. How about that diving attempt? It appeals for a penalty, as Garcia was trying to get to it and did win the header, but pushes it wide.
This is a center back, Garcia, and he's being held a bit. You can see impeding the run. Not enough in that for our head official in terms of a tussle to point to the spot.
Well, another part of the Jägermeister Cup, it's a lot like the US Open Cup, that you kind of have to change your mindset a little bit from the regular season, because in the end, when you're watching this match, the result ultimately isn't all that important for either of these two teams, because Las Vegas need a lot of help to be able to win the group. And if you're Spokane, the only way that you can advance is to be more aggressive in the attack here in the second half, because otherwise a loss tonight eliminates you from advancing into the knockout stages. So you have to be better in the attack, but it's Las Vegas that finds space here for Pickering. Pickering showcases the high knees, curls it in, and Billichuk clutches it.
And to go back to the question that you asked me to start this game, what do I expect out of it? And my answer was more or less fireworks, right? End-to-end action. And it wasn't because of how these two teams are in terms of their identity. If you put these two teams in a regular season matchup where a draw is on the table, right, and everyone gets a point, everyone's happy, I don't think that we see that kind of aggression from either of these teams, because they are so defensive oriented and they're content being in a compact shape. But because this is a cup format, because points are at a premium and goals matter, that's why I believe that with everything's at stake, the second half is going to be electric.
Lee Vidman mentioned to us when we spoke with him this week that they have to be good in transition, and that when they hit in the right ways, they can beat anybody in the attack. It's just finding those right relationships. And as I mentioned at the outset, 40% of this roster is new to this year's team in the second year as a franchise. Collision and a foul.
Completely agree with the point that you were just making, that Lee Fiedman made to us. And when I watched the Spokane side, specifically on the attack, it's a very interesting balance for them between patience to play, particularly in the wide channels, and pull shape apart, let runs develop, but they also do it at such tempo, right? So it's innately that they want to be in the wide channels for just long enough to pull shape apart, have runs develop on the backside, but they're very decisive in what they want to do and when they want to get there. It's been a joy to watch this group play.
That's a good ball. A full sprint here for John Brown. He gets there first, but rolls it right into the path of Gartig. Collision there as Reedy steps over against Pinzon. Good chance to switch the field here. Las Vegas does that as well as just about anybody, and it's an excellent save to keep the ball in play by Leal. Smart darts, Smart rolls it in. Gets erased inside of the penalty area.
And this all starts, it gets to this wide channel not only because of the hustle, but actually because of the vertical runs that were being made. 2 Las Vegas Lights attackers were making vertical runs that occupied Spokane's back line, and that's what opened up the ability for that ball to be switched across the face. Good hustle play, never hurts as well.
Las Vegas need a win, they need help, and they could use some goals as well if they are to win the group, but a win would certainly go a long way to try to win a wild card position. Spokane, meanwhile, they control a bit of their own destiny down the stretch with one more match after this against Sacramento that could decide the group winner if Spokane are able to win this match here tonight. There is your table as it stands right now with Las Vegas atop, but remember that they will have played the full complement as this shot races past Bilichuk. Las Vegas do add a second, and it's Knight Pickering, the 20-year-old, with his second goal of the tournament to make it 2-0 Lights.
Cue the music, cue the lights. Knight Pickering has that wow factor. We highlighted him for a reason. He's got an eye for goal as long as he gets put in the danger area. And right here on top of the 18-yard box, he just finds himself with no pressure around him, checks his shoulder, knows that he's got the space to turn, and buries that one to the back post. One of the most high potential attackers in the entirety of USL Championship, and he is starting to find his groove.
We highlighted him at the outset of this match. He scored twice in the regular season, had the game winner in the 90th minute against Indy a week ago. And he now adds a second in separation for Las Vegas. As you were just looking at the table, an important moment as Miller catches, spins, and falls. And based on our out-of-town scores brought to you by Silk Title Company, everything going in the direction of Las Vegas right now, with Orange County and Sacramento scoreless in the 85th, and Oakland beating Monterey Bay in the 86th. It might be a nervy final day of competition in the group stage, but Las Vegas are playing their part here in their final match of the group. Do Spokane have answers now? They might have to open up a little bit. Pickering out of the reach. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Good touch by Reedy. Reedy goes down. He appeals for a foul, and yet again, those are not heard by our center referee. That's a delightful pass. Pickering. Garcia again is over to defend that, and he has been a one-man demolition crew of some of these attacks for the Lights. Waldeck out of the reach of Reedy. Let's see that last play, and Reedy still having a word with our center referee.
Well, Pierre Reedy, what a touch. And it's Gartig that comes in behind. We'll get a great look at it here. We'll see if he's even within the 18-yard box. There's nothing in that for me. I think that the trip was occurring before the contact was made. The unfortunate part of this for Spokane now is that it's going to become a never-ending cycle. Right now, because of what the game is dictating, you're going to have to step, you're going to have to press, and innately your shape is going to get expanded. This Las Vegas Lights team, one of the best teams in terms of their transitional ability. They've got firepower, they've got explosion, they've got players that can beat you 1v1. And so as this game is going to dictate for that to happen for Spokane, it's also going to be a bit favorable to what this Las Vegas Lights side wants to do.
Spokane had gone 12 consecutive matches in all competitions without allowing multiple goals. The last time it happened was the US Open Cup when they lost to Tacoma back on April 2nd. And tonight the Lights are able to do it. Las Vegas Lights are proud to be working with Desert Radiology as their official imaging partner for the 2025 season. Throw in, it's a nice nudge. Taken back over. Waldeck on the redirects. Reedy gets a piece. An electric atmosphere here tonight in Las Vegas.
That is always my favorite part of the cheer.
At the end?
No one really knows if it's going to end. You all start looking around. You're like, I think this is the last one. A couple people don't get the memo. Dies an embarrassing slow death.
You always have that last person that's the only one still doing it, but everybody else still claps. They want to root on that one person that's still going after it.
As someone who hates a public embarrassment, I'm always going to stop a good 3 ahead.
Make sure there's enough time.
Exactly.
Well, there's one person that is anchoring the entire crew tonight. Smart hooks this ball in. Bilichuk gets just enough to keep it away. Not out of danger yet. Pickering makes the run, and it's over his head and out.
The athleticism from Bilichuk here, my goodness. Sean Smart picks his head up, sends a really nice seeking ball, bending into the run of Stojanovic on the backside. But Bilichuk reads that one the whole way. Has to be brave, come out and get that one. Barely gets a paw to it.
Reedy lays it for Waldeck. Slices this through the middle. Fernandez pushes it in. Out top, Gill. Martin tries to cross, cannot break the back line. Fernandez. Lewis threads the needle. Brett retreats. Brett blasts. Parried away by Miller. It's still loose. Reedy recycles. Waldeck, a couple nudges along, a flick, a shove, and no foul again whistled as Spokane just trying to pull any lifeline right now. Pickering unlocks space on this side, but once more Garcia is over, erasing it. The 24-year-old from Spain is the all-time leader in Jaeger Cup wins, 7 of them.
Well, we talked about the ability for Las Vegas being able to manage the central spaces. They are keeping their shape compact. They are making this really difficult. Look how many bodies are in a 5-yard span. That is so difficult to break down if you're Spokane.
Not afraid to switch fields with these long balls. Smart, dazzling touch. Smart rotates this ball across, and it's mishit and over the top of the net. And a corner kick now for Las Vegas. Pearson takes his time to set up another Richard Harris Law Firm corner kick. Pearson loops this ball around. A half hour to play in this one. Las Vegas leads 2-0. Stojanovic in the 35th, Pickering in the 51st is the difference in the match. And 3 changes coming right now, brought to you by Payblocks. For Spokane, it's going to be Ishjo, Anwar Pallais, and Jack Denton all coming in. Javier Martin, Colin Fernandez, and Nico Brett step out.
Number 6, Colin Fernandez, and number 9, Nico Brett.
Smart chests this ball down. Shows the sorcery to hold on. Left-hand side. Numbers flood the box once more. It is a full-time final. Oakland Roots have taken out Monterey Bay 2-1. Important result for Las Vegas on the table. So as it stands, the 9 points for Las Vegas, and perhaps an even better result forming in Orange County. Pedro Guimaraes has scored in the 95th minute for Orange County to take a 1-0 edge against Sacramento. A glance around our out-of-town scores brought to you by Silk Title Company. And what that means right now is Las Vegas are the group leaders by 3 points.
USL After Dark, baby. We told you. 95th minute.
Here's Smart. Smart dashes, cuts it back. Smart finds space. Smart rolls this ball around. Bilichuk is there to get 2 paws on it. Granted, Las Vegas lost the head-to-head against Sacramento. That's the first tiebreaker. And then it would potentially come down to goal scoring in that Monterey Bay, because they did not play Monterey Bay during the Jägermeister Cup. So if everything holds, Las Vegas would have some anxiety in 90 minutes in late July, but they would potentially be on the doorstep of winning the group, despite that 4-0 setback to Sacramento.
Well, we made it clear that Las Vegas was going to need to win in regulation, right? Penalties we're not going to do, and they were also going to need some help. But first and foremost, you've got to control what you can control, and that performance that they put together so far has been just that. They came out with a purpose. It's been determined. You can tell they're far from over. They want to latch on a few more.
Definitely a team that is not satisfied with the performance of 2-0 so far, as we get 2 changes. Dowda Peters and Vaughn Koval both come in. Stojanovic, who scored the opener in the 35th minute, and Christopher Pearson are the 2 that come out. The Las Vegas Lights fans, scan the QR code on your screen for more on the official protein drink of your Las Vegas Lights, and visit drinkprominent.com. 5 more minutes to go. So far, so good for the Lights. And Spokane, who are hoping to play spoilers tonight, down by 2. Jome tosses it all the way across, and there's nobody in that neighborhood as it goes out for a goal kick. Good turn. Smart again. Smart, 1v1. Tries to get to the touchline, brings it back, twirls. And ultimately 2 defenders shut down his run.
And there are moments for Sean Smart, right? He gets that full head of steam going. Just want him to pick his head up, release it a few touches earlier. In that particular instance, he had a streaking run from Nigro on the back post. A good early service in behind would have served him well. If you're Spokane, you really need to see Lewis more involved. You really need to see Gill more involved. We talked about the central spaces. That's where Las Vegas is at their most comfortable. But one of the things that make Lewis and Gill such a dynamic pair is their recognition of how to create space in the wide areas. Just haven't seen them on the ball near enough.
So much credit goes to Giovanni Troise and the rest of the Las Vegas coaching staff for getting this group ready in this short window of time. Off of the coaching change, Jome. It's out top, and it's Lewis sizzling a ball high. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big leagues, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. This ball across, but right into the waiting paws of Carver Miller. He's shown himself well. third keeper on this team, and Ruiz said that it's not easy being the third keeper. Heck, it's not easy being the second keeper a lot of times. You don't get a lot of minutes, but he's put in the effort in training, put in the effort in the community, and he deserved tonight's opportunity. And can he reward his coach with a clean sheet tonight? Smart has been left all alone on this side so many times, but does draw two defenders. Decided to hit it first time and then comes back and commits the foul. Las Vegas makes another change here. Brought to you by Payblocks. It is Valentin Noel coming in, replacing Christian Pinzon. And we talk about a player that very easily could be the key piece for Las Vegas to make the postseason. That is Noel. 10 goals, 7 assists last year. He has just a goal and assist so far this year.
I feel like we have yet to see the full Valentin Noel that we saw in the 2024 season. Right, missing that little spark, that extra 20 to 30%. But I think so much of that comes with not necessarily having the freedom to go forward quite as much as he was used to in the 2024 season. That's all changed really over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Hey, Lights fans, scan the QR code on your screen to find out how you can save on tickets through Flex Plans. You can save up to 35%. Scan the QR code or visit LasVegasLightsFC.com/flex-plans. Well, it is officially a final. Orange County beats Sacramento 1-0. Oakland 2-1 over Monterey Bay. And it could be a flawless night for Las Vegas here on match day 3 in the Jaeger Cup. Pickering and Smart. Back around the wheel it goes. Body's tangled up. Smart holds on to that ball to the delight of the fans. Collision without a whistle. Lewis to Gill. Gill has Jome. Denton through the middle of the field. Jones is out. Out to the midfield on that left channel. Bodies tangle. A shove. And now we do get a foul, and Spokane will have a set piece.
A little trip from behind is actually the first foul. But it's always the second guy that gets caught. Say it from too much experience in my time.
Is that you back in the day, the second
Absolutely.
one?
Could never let anything go.
Well, if Spokane are to get back in this match, this might be the critical chance that they need as this ball boomerangs in. Right in the middle of the field. He gets knocked away. He rolls across towards the chalk, but it stays in play. And then mishit, and indeed it will eventually be a corner.
And Knight Pickering's got to have a little bit more awareness in that moment. Didn't realize he was turning into the central area of pressure as the outlet. Now forcing his team to defend a corner kick.
This corner rolls to the back post, and Cameron Miller gets ahead to it, but can't keep it in play. And there'll be two more changes here for Spokane. Andre Lewis and Pierre Reedy both come out as they get fresh legs into the attack now. And it will be Masango Akale, the 23-year-old from Minneapolis, and Neil Binyals, the 29-year-old from Spain, both coming in.
Entering the game, number 7, Masango Akale, and number 8, Neil Binyals. Leaving the game, number 11, Pierre Reedy, and number 77, Andre Lewis.
If you're Spokane and you see how things have played out around the rest of the table, this was a night that they could have made their push. They could have gotten on to 6 points, tied for the top spot on the table, and had their chance to control their destiny to try to win the group. They would need somewhat of a miracle at this point as Jome flattens Pickering, and then this ball rolls out against Bilichuk. If you can't watch the match, you got to turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Hour to go in this one. Both teams needed a lot of help to try to win the group, but they have gotten that with the results so far this evening, with both Sacramento and Monterey Bay both losing in Group 1. And Las Vegas have taken advantage. Stojanovic in the 35th on a penalty, Pickering in the 51st, and it's 2-0 for Las Vegas. That's a good ball inside of the 18. Winding up was Gill, but defensively, Las Vegas is there to erase yet again.
So many numbers centrally for Las Vegas. Again, it's going to be about how quickly Spokane can pull them out of that defensive structure. They've also got to deal with these transitional moments as they continue to push for an equalizer.
Koval wins his team a corner. Well, despite giving up 18 goals this year, 10th fewest in the USL Championship, Las Vegas have only given up 2 in the final 20 minutes of matches all year long. So that is the challenge that we are watching this Spokane side deal with tonight. They are out shooting Las Vegas 7-6, but they only have 1 shot on target. Another Richard Harris Law Firm corner. Swings across. Not into the surface, and this time it will be a foul on Las Vegas. So it brings us to a hydration break presented by Flow.
The officials have called for a hydration break. Hydration breaks are presented by
Capstone to our USL Jaeger Cup coverage
Las Vegas Lights.
Is this one here in Las Vegas, and the Lights need goal scoring. They got to find ways to score more goals, and they've done just enough here tonight as they've scored twice. This started it off, winning the penalty kick, and eventually Stojanovic finishing.
And they're growing with confidence. Every single match, every attacking opportunity they create, it's creating a bit more confidence and bringing them back into their identity. Stojanovic does a really nice job burying that one. 6'3" goalkeeper he's going against. And Bilichuk, and he puts it on the deck exactly where he should. And then what about that moment of brilliance? Told you that Knight Pickering has a wow factor to his game, has a roll, has a nose for goal, and his ability to finish in big time moments with not a lot of a window. Really impressive for the youngster.
One of the highest scoring teams now in the USL's Jägermeister Cup. They're in the group stage. A team that has now scored 9 times in the group. Looking to win this one going away. Two sides on a 100-degree night here in Nevada. Taking their time here to cool off a little bit. And Las Vegas hoping that will give them a chance to see this one all the way through. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. You can download it now. Spokane have lost just once in their last 11. They've only lost once in 13 League One matches. Ball knocked down by Pelais. Pelais slides and just picked a little bit of a divot up right there on the chalk as he couldn't quite slam on the brakes.
You had to pick a in-stadium MVP between the in-house DJ and the fan leader for Las Vegas.
Consistency, I'm going with the in-house DJ.
Love that.
We had about a 5 to 7 minute window there with the fan, and I've not heard from him in the last 15 minutes.
In fairness, we know this better than anyone. It's hard on the voice.
It is.
It's hard on the voice unless he's got that pack of Ricola.
I go through those well too quick. I got one left.
I've watched you devour.
Yes,
yeah.
Pack. And the voice is still struggling here tonight. Maybe he went to go pick up a packet to get through the final 10 minutes.
He'll be back. He'll be back to stop.
Spokane had been good at coming back from deficits when they trailed against Charlotte on June 11th. They would come back to equalize and get a draw out of that. And then when they trailed against Westchester in May, they came back to win that match 3-1. Tonight does not look like it'll be the same story. Granted, we've had wild things happen so far here this evening in the Jaeger Cup. Smart stumbles, gathers, Waldeck punches it. Now in the middle of the field. It's a good turn here from Noel. Noel lines it up and trickles the ball across the penalty area. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Koval, Smart, lofts. Nigro, Smart. Well, what we've seen tonight from Las Vegas, if this is a Lights team that will play the rest of the year and they will play with this kind of quality and this type of ability defensively, it makes them a dangerous foe in a Western Conference that is clogged right now in the USL Championship.
Been fortunate to call several of the Las Vegas Lights game at the beginning of this championship season. I think that's probably what you just alluded to. That's probably been the most frustrating piece of it all. If you're a fan or if you're someone who watches them regularly, it's not hard to tell the quality on this roster, the talent on this roster. There wasn't a whole lot of turnover from the successful 2024 campaign. It was just not really finding the balance between the identity of old and the identity of new.
Smart commits the foul. He's going to get a yellow card as well. On his final action of the night as you see Joe Zhao replacing Sean Smart. The 21-year-old was all over the field here this evening. former national champion at Clemson, has his shift come to a close.
Well, it just feels like a lot of frustration for Sean Smart because he's been on the front foot in several of these attacking opportunities. He's found himself in wonderful positions on the right-hand side. And whether it's just keeping the ball a touch too long, being a bit off on the service delivery, or not being there quite quick enough, he's just been ever so close to getting his name on the score sheet or the assist column. This result aside, we talk about these two teams have a lot of similarities just in terms of the identities changing from year to year. Back to that in a moment.
And down for Las Vegas. Doesn't slow down this attack. Until now, when Peters stomps on it.
And a bit of the identity for Spokane in the 2024 season was having such a high line, right? They started that year conceding a lot of goals. They had this high line of confrontation, and something that they wanted to be very cognizant of coming into this year. Evolved that line placement, took away the high line, made it difficult for teams to break them down in more congested parts of the field. That's what we're referencing. We talk about that mid to low block. And so for them, it's been about finding that balance of all the things they did well in the 2024 season, all the things that got them to that early success, but also finding a way to make it more manageable, make it more long-lasting. I think they've done an excellent job in League One play, obviously, top of the table.
Jack Denton just got shown a yellow card. One area perhaps of concern, though, for Spokane, they've only scored multiple goals once in the last 7 matches entering the night.
Yep.
And they have not been able to score tonight. They've had some chances. They have 8 shots, but they only have 2 shots on target. And really, you look at the opening couple minutes, they had a couple opportunities, but really they've allowed this young Carver Miller to be able to lock into this game. And that was a dangerous ball and really a needless ball as well in a 2-0 lead. Hydration break. There might be a chunk of stoppage time to be left in this one as Spokane try to find a leveler. Trying to get one first is winning that header. Miller comes out. Pillai's got his noggin to it. He appeals for a foul. And ultimately, in the end, it's out for a goal kick.
You have to wonder if Pillai doesn't have a bit of an argument here. The positioning of Miller, well, it's far too off. Both players challenging. I actually believe that there was contact made there from Miller after Pillai had made contact with his head. Completely understand the appeals for a penalty.
The only slip up we've seen from Miller tonight in his club debut. Akale. Numbers there. Gartic has to get there in time to be able to clear it away. And finding a little surge here in the late going. Akale. Joe launches, and Miller is there. He nearly had some spillage and is able to smother in the end.
There he is.
Took 30 minutes.
That was not our in-house DJ, but it was indeed our fan.
He has regained his energy for the last few minutes.
He wouldn't get cough drops.
He did.
I'm telling you.
He got the lozenges. Elias is called for the foul. I always enjoy when a player clearly commits a foul and promptly argues that they did not.
Here's a prime example of what you're referencing. Sir, you can't do that.
Maybe some frustration bleeding over after the Carver Miller effort moments ago against Anwar Pillais, who has scored 6 times in the regular season. Spokane has a +13 goal differential in USL's League One. We'll be back into league action coming up next week. This ball from Zhao. Test the keeper here in the 90th minute. Jome turns. Jome again arcs. And it's right at Miller once more. He makes his second save of Jome from a ball outside the penalty area.
The fourth official has indicated that a minimum of
4 minutes of stoppage time in this one.
Fans, get on your feet and make some noise because it's time for the Pepino Power Minute.
Pickering. Noel guides this ball out wide and the cross comes in. And these are the moments too. You normally might see a team go to a corner flag, but goals are important in the Jägermeister Cup. Jome tries to restart, is able to get the angle. A late arriving run, perhaps to pick out a cross. It gets knocked away. A header from Gartzig with a flag up for offside on that second ball from Jome.
And that's really well done from Budati. The commitment to go with the runner to the near post saves this one and potentially saves this clean sheet for Las Vegas.
It's a 15-match night in the USL Jägermeister Cup. 5 games went to shootouts. 6 games were decided by a goal. So that's 11 of 14 finals that were nip and tuck. This one looks like it'll be 2-0. And a Lights team that is 1 shutout away from matching the club record for regular season shutouts. He's a couple minutes away from a shutout here in the Jägermeister Cup for the first time. Kale bobs and weaves. Vinyals. Waldeck swings it across. Guided back away, halfway through stoppage time. Waldeck. It's a quick twirl by Denton. Spokane carry this one in. They've attempted 11 shots in this game. That's the good news, but they haven't been able to find the net so far. Vinyals chips it in. Elias was trying to get the angle to it, cannot. And it has to be cleared away by Cameron Miller, and it works out with a pretty good feed. John Brown, Jome touches it forward. Gill throttles and gets nullified by Gartzig. Jome again turns. Waldeck. A lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Waldeck continues his run, cuts it across and over the head of Pillais as he just gets a forehead to it, but it ends up going over his head and out.
And this is a really good moment of recognition and use of tactical space from Spokane. They play in that central part of the field for several passes. They attract attention, and then Waltek makes a wonderful run that draws the rest of the shape out and into that near post. And that opens up a wide open back post attempt for Palaz, and unfortunately the serve is just a bit too high for him to get underneath it.
Pickering trying to squirt in there as this ball ricochets around. Trickles back, Vilichuk picks it up. And there's the full-time whistle. Las Vegas sets itself up for a chance to win the group. 2-0 the victory here tonight in a dazzling performance against Spokane. A shutout victory for the Lights and 3 straight wins in all competitions.
I think that what we're seeing is a continuation of this Las Vegas Lights attack reinvent itself. They're showing grit, they're showing cohesion, and they're showing a lot of efficiency right now in the final third. But not only that, it's spilling over into their defensive posture as well. And it finally feels like the quality of this roster is beginning to match the product they're putting on the field.
Tonight's man of the match is presented by Payblocks, and it goes to Knight Pickering. We highlighted him at the beginning, and he showcased that powerful left boot in half number 2.
And we told you the reason we were highlighting him was because of the wow factor and the ability for him to make big-time plays without needing many touches on the ball. He finds a half of a window, gets his hip turned face to goal, and it's a wonderful strike to the back post.
So the final score tonight is Las Vegas 2 and Spokane 0. Marion and I will recap what we witnessed here tonight in the Sin City when we come back. It's the full-time highlights, the stats, and a full recap from Las Vegas's 2-0 win when we return.
Hey you! Yes, you! Right now, only a Finito to get a Terrible's $500 gas card with the purchase of any new Tacoma or Tundra in stock. Hurry in, offer ends June 30th only at Finley Toyota.
As a stylist, I know it can be hard to find time for a haircut. With the Great Clips app, you can put your name on the list from anywhere and head to the salon when it's time for your cut. A great haircut plus more time for what you love. That's Great Clips.
Las Vegas's hopes of getting to the knockout stage are enhanced tonight with a 2-0 victory over Spokane. Michael Wattrang, Marion Crowder, and the rest of our team recapping the evening here from Cashman Field. And Las Vegas came in winners of back-to-back matches, taking on the top team in League One. And in the 32nd minute, things changed with this penalty awarded to the Lights.
Yeah, Howell does a really nice job engaging some contact and making sure the referee sees it. And then it's Stojanovic who steps up calm, cool, collected against the 6'3" Spokane Vilichuk, and he puts it on the deck, and he makes no mistake about it, regardless of Vilichuk guessing right.
That was a 1-0 advantage, and then in the 51st minute, this ball is taken away by the Lights, and how about Knight Pickerington's potent left boot?
It's really well done by Sean Smart just to pick this off, and Knight Pickering comes off the back line to find space so he can get himself turned and do what he does best. He's got a wonderful left boot, and he's got a wonderful nose for goal.
Tonight's match stats are presented by Dave and Buster's, and Spokane gets more shots on target. They have more of the ball, but in the end, just not quality enough in the final third against a stingy Las Vegas backline.
Best way to put it, there was not enough quality opportunities created from that 51% possession. It felt like most of the game was played in between the 18-yard boxes, and that's where Las Vegas is at their most comfortable, a team who likes to clog the central channels, and it works out extremely well in their favor, as does the rest of the USL Jägermeister Cup results.
Just the second loss for Spokane in its last 12. Monterey Bay and Sacramento both lose tonight in Group 1. So it leaves the door open with one more match day to go and no more matches for Las Vegas in the Jägermeister Cup. The lights are on a heater. After 4 straight losses and a coaching change, they've won 3 in a row. The Lights win it 2-0 against Spokane Velocity here this evening and surge to the top of the Group 1 table. For our entire crew here tonight in the Sin City and my partner Marion Crowder, I'm Michael Watring saying so long for now. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.